And we welcome you back, Rattler fans. 31-28, the Rattlers trail here as we enter the second half of play. That one put up by Santos early in the shot clock, no good. Marvin Benny grabs the ball away, his first action we've seen of him today. Marvin Witt puts that one up, no good. There's Matthews. And no shot called. The shot called off. Looks like they're going to get the foul on the floor. It's Benny checking into the game for the first time today. Benny, Minor, Witt, Matthews, and Alexander. Here's Witt. Good backdoor cut. He's able to get the finish. A very nice inbounds play there as the Rattlers were able to take advantage in the game within one. And you can see some a little bit of determination out of Benny right out the gates. And he didn't play a lick in that first half, and he's come out playing really hard in the second one. Don't know the reason behind him not playing in the first half. It's a question we'll be sure to ask afterwards, as that one's put in for three by Hartzler, and the lead back up to 4. Here's Benny bringing up the floor. 5 on the floor for the Hillcats. Is that one very nice pass, high-low action as Alexander puts it in. Same as the starting 5 for the Hillcats on the floor. Hartzler, Moore, Sharp, Banton, and Santos. Santos didn't see much of him in the first half. He got into foul trouble and sat for the remainder. Has 2 fouls now, so 3 fouls to work with here in the second half. Here's Sharp putting that one up, no good. Benny grabs the board. Benny pushing the tempo now. Now he turns on the Jets. Marvin the foul and the bucket. Marvin Benny coming out aggressive. And I talked to Marvin during our classes on Wednesday, and he said he really relishes this time of year, especially with how close it is this year. I mean, every team, it feels like every team up at the top of the Heartland Conference, 8-4. And Marvin said, you know, I'm glad that we get to play them this week. It's a chance for us to go ahead. Rogers stayed out of the tie, and then after that, we play University of Arkansas Fort Smith and hope to do the exact same there. So, you know, he's very fired up, and Benny, the point guard for this team and a vocal leader as well. See if the Rattlers follow suit behind him here in the second half. Offensive foul called there. Marvin Benny draws the charge. And it seems like for as little as we got to say his name in the first half, he's trying to make up for it here in the second.
Benny creating a spark for the Rattlers here in the second half. He has definitely been a difference maker as he is called for the carry on the hesitation. Got a little too under the ball with his dribble, and turnover is called.
Little Iverson-esque right there.
A little bit, minus the headband and the arm sleeve.
And the braids. Hillcats ball, they're down by 1. They haven't trailed very often this game. Here's Hartzler, dish it off to Sharp. Oh, and now a foul called against Witt as he gets aggressive on the defensive end. Witt, I think, got a little bit more of a piece of the referee than he did of Hartzler himself, but the foul called. St. Mary's, they've committed 1 team foul. Meanwhile, the Hillcats, they've already committed 3. So that's a number we're going to have to keep an eye on. Here's Santos across the lanes. Over to Barton. Barton now in the lane. Kicks it out to Sharp. Over to Hartzler. Hartzler, offensive foul. And it seems like the defensive intensity really starting to pick up on the St. Mary's side. A second offensive foul called against the Hillcats.
And Marvin Witt able to beat his man to the spot, but a little bit of embellishment may have given him the call. There was no question that he did get shoved as Witt was able to draw the foul, and this time trying to make a basket off to the side. Bodies flying all over the place, and Rattlers will maintain possession.
Fresh 35 on the shot clock. It'll be Matthews to inbound. Not someone we usually expect to see inbounding the ball, but he'll just dish it off safely to Alexander. Witt, here's Benny now into the lane. The foul called on the floor. Benny didn't get the finish anyway, but 15th foul now committed by the Hillcats. St. Mary's coming out very aggressive. and they could be in the bonus in a blink of an eye if the Hillcats aren't careful.
And that's the key word right there, aggressive, not just on the offensive end, but defensively as well. St. Mary's attacking on the defensive end. Normally you're supposed to be defensive, as Benny floats one in for two. And normally you attack on the offensive end, but when a team is attacking on the defensive end as well, like St. Mary's is, you can change a game in an instant.
That one laid in very nicely. Good 2 points there as the advantage is cut down for one. Here's Benny once again. Benny off the screen to the rescreen, picks up his dribble looking for Minor. Oh, and Minor not able to handle the pass. Here's Hartzler coming down the floor. He lays it up, no good, and the rebound taken down by Minor. Here's Benny now. He has Witt with him. Benny over to Witt, nice pass, but no good from Marvin Witt. Alexander gets a piece. Witt now amongst the trees, no good. Santos comes down with the board.
Several good opportunities for the Rattlers, none of them able to find the bottom of the basket.
As Newton puts that one up, no good. They're going to get Isaiah Matthews right there, and he's displeased with himself. That's going to be his third team foul. Underneath the 16-minute mark, our first media timeout. We'll go ahead, throw it to our Code Blue dance team here on the Rattler Network. And we welcome you back, Rattler fans. Code Blue dance team, nice performance. See some of our very own Rattlers getting into that one. Kyra Littlejohn showing off the moves along with LOFO as well. LOFO, the cover athlete on the women's side of things here. As we get ready to resume back to play, 37-36, the Rattler advantage, but Newton heading to the line. Chance to change it. Newton, the senior for Rogers State. First one up and good for Newton. DeJuan Newton averaging 13.9 points per game, second highest here on this Hillcat team. Also 2.4 rebounds, 2.1 assists, so very balanced stat line for him. He knocks down both and gives the Hillcats the lead. See Joe Monroe checking into the game as Matthews will head on out. Benny and Newton going at it a little bit right there, but Benny will beat the press. Alexander, high-low action. Monroe, the left-handed hook, and the foul. Joe Monroe, very nice right there. And Brian, I have to tell you, I'm a little bit surprised by this Hillcat approach. It seemed like they were zone in the first half. In the second half, no zone to speak of whatsoever. We've just seen straight man-to-man.
And it's an adjustment that they probably thought would have made the difference, as St. Mary's will maintain possession here. Zone defense allowed for the Hillcats to gain a three-point edge, looking for an even bigger edge. They're trying to play man-to-man, as St. Mary's has exploited that here in the second half. Benny splitting the D, lays it up and in, and score it.
Oh man, Marvin Benny is just playing like a ball of emotion right now. This one put up for three by Newton as he silences this Rattler crowd. Tied up at 41 apiece. We got ourselves a heck of a ball game right now, partner. Here's Benny now, and a little bit of foul called there on Newton. So he is trying to draw the offensive one right there. Academy Awards already happened, so Marvin Benny will head to the line for the 1-and-1.
And this is key right here. Rattlers in the bonus now. They will be shooting free throws the final 14:54 of this game.
First one up for Benny, and good. Academy Awards may have already happened. The Grammys, though, coming up. You have a horse in the race? Anyone you're cheering for?
No one in particular.
I always have to go for my girl Taylor Swift. But back to the action now. Marvin Benny, second on the second free throw, good as well. Marvin Benny, 9 points in just over 5 minutes of action, I should say. Hillcats break the press. Now attacking, it's Banton, the foul, and one for Newton, that is, and they're going to get Joe Monroe right there. That'll be his third personal foul.
And a lot of emotion on the floor now shown by both teams. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, an all-important Heartland Conference matchup, which can determine, it has seeding implications in the postseason. Well, for St. Mary's anyways, as Rogers State a provisional school, they are not eligible for postseason play, but even more important for St. Mary's, who are in the thick of things in the Heartland Conference.
Skip pass over to Benny. Benny fakes the pass, receives the screen. Benny over to Minor. Minor hoists up a three, no good. Witt, though, grabs the board, and he'll draw the foul on the putback attempt. Marvin Witt, another offensive board to his name. That has to be 3 now for the small Rattler guard.
And Witt, right place, right time. He was able to come in on the missed shot opportunity. No one home to box out as Sharp gets called for the push-off, and Witt able to sink the first of 2.
Marvin Witt now sitting on 5 points for the night. Go along with 4 rebounds. He's actually tied for the leading spot for the Rattlers so far today in rebounds. As the second one goes through as well, St. Mary's doing a good job of taking advantage of the freebies. Rattlers lead by 2. The guys in gold starting to put it together. Here's Newton now. He's been hot. Hartzler. That one is good for Hartzler. A little bit too much space right there as he got free off the screen. He's sitting pretty at 18 points. It's been him and Newton doing it all for the Hillcats. Newton sitting at 15. Benny swings it over to Thomas. Back to Benny now. Benny inserts the pass to Alexander. Oh, good footwork. Oh, and he uses the rim to protect his shot as well. Justin Alexander, astute of all angles right there as he flips that one up and in for 2. Here's Santos, though. Offensive foul. Justin Alexander steps in front of Ayala and draws the offensive foul. And now we'll see Leah checking in for Santos, as well as Bolton checking in for Christian Minor. Next foul will put the Rattlers in the double bonus. They'll be shooting it for the remaining 13:20 in the second half.
Justin Alexander on both ends of the floor showing his excellent footwork as the ball being bounced around. Last touch by the Hillcats. First on the offensive end, Alexander tight-roping the baseline, flipping it under for 2, and then drawing the offensive foul, and now here we are with the Rattlers in possession up by 1.
Benny goes into the backcourt to retrieve the ball. 1-point game. Here's Bolton now. Bolton over to Alexander. Back over to Benny. Marvin to Marvin. Benny to Witt. Marvin to Marvin. Witt to Benny. Here's Marvin Benny. Baseline. He floats it up. No good. He leaves it short. Leah, nice rebound, nice outlet pass. The foul is committed. And that one looks rather dangerous. Bolton, though, made sure to make an attempt for the ball.
It was a hard foul. JJ just trying to prevent a foul or a shot from getting up.
That one, it'll be Hartzler going to the line for at least 2. referees will be discussing this one to see if they want to call an intentional foul or not.
And they might elect to look at the replay of this one.
The thing about it was it appeared that J.J. Bolton went for the ball first and foremost,
and all he was trying to do was just prevent a shot from getting flipped up, and the shot somehow got up on the rim. And from our vantage point anyways, we saw J.J.
They'll call an intentional foul right there. At least they'll call it initially.
And they're going to look at the replay, it looks like.
The thing is, it ended so violently with Hartzler going up and towards that Rowdy Rattler fan section.
And we saw JJ guide the opponent down to the floor. He wasn't trying to cause any harm. You saw immediately after the play him trying to check up on the downed Hillcat. And now the referee is checking the replay.
And this could be a huge difference at this junction of the game.
And it looks like the call...
There's been no indication of it being overturned, but they're still looking at it. Rattler man looks like he's going to go ahead and lie down, take a little break. I think we could all use that one. Well, it's 47-46. Both teams using this time like a little timeout right here.
The referee's still discussing whether or not it was an intentional foul. And they're saying JJ, the explanation it looks like if we're reading body language, was that JJ used his off arm to push off on Hartzler.
If I gotten a chance to see the replay when it happened, when I saw it live, and admittedly that's hard to judge, it looked like he tried to wrap him up with the left hand and then reach around and grab him around the right. But as it is, it's an intentional foul. Hartzler puts him up. First one was good, second one was not. But more importantly, it'll be possession along the baseline for the Hillcats. Fresh 35 on the shot clock to work with, a tied game. And if anything else, this just take a little bit of wind out of both teams' sails as the game's been slowed down. This one put up for three by Newton. No good. Bolton will come down with the board. Bolton now bringing it up the floor. Passes it off to Benny. Bit of an inopportune time to pick up his dribble, and now we see it. Here's the zone defense. Hillcats ran it towards the end of the first half. Oh, Bolton on a different page with Ryan Thomas as that one gets picked off by Hartzler. Up to Ayala now. Ayala in the game with Newton, Hartzler, Sharp, along with Leia. Here's Sharp now. Sharp driving the lane. Offensive foul. Justin Alexander draws another one as Ryan Thomas has checked into the game for the Rattlers.
Alexander's going to need a nice long time in the ice bath as he's taken a couple nasty charges. But that's the type of player Alexander is. Tough, gritty, hard-nosed, and willing to do anything to help his team win.
Santos checking into the game. Sharp will check out. Both teams, they've gone rather big, especially St. Mary's here. They've gone and slid Bolton back to his 3 spot that we've been accustomed to seeing him in over the past years. But now Ryan Thomas and Alexander in the game. Here's Benny for 3. It's good. Marvin Benny, I was watching him in warm-ups because I was confused why he wasn't playing, and he shot 7 warm-up jumpers. He connected on all 7 of them, so if that's a sign of things to come, I think the Rattlers would be pleased with something similar to us in warm-ups. Zone defense now out of the Rattlers. Santos grabs the offensive rebound. That one's swatted away by Thomas. Another offensive board and a blocking foul plus the bucket. Nice finish there out of Newton as he is now sitting at 17 points himself. That'll take us underneath the 12-minute mark. We'll take a break here on the Rattler Network. Rattlers lead by 1. And welcome back, Rattler fans. 50-49. The Rattlers leading this one, but at the line shooting one is Newton. A chance to tie this one up. Sitting at 17 points right now. He's been strong throughout. Second one up, that one good as well, and both teams tied at the half-century mark. Now we see press coming out of this Hillcat team. Benny picks up his dribble, but throws it up ahead to Alexander, and a good pass breaks the press. See the Hillcats now falling back into that 2-3 defense. Bolton entry pass to Alexander, and we've seen them do this for two possessions now against that zone defense, inserting the pass from the opposite wing into the other lower block, and it's been open both times, but that time it worked and produced the easy bucket, but the Hillcats answer right back with an easy two of their own.
And the Rattlers, their ball movement has been superb as Alexander gets turned back at the rim. Rattlers still with possession, ball bouncing around. Alexander tries to flip it up, ball bouncing around. And finally Thomas able to come up with it. And this is where St. Mary's makes a name, for themselves. It is creating second, third, and even fourth chance opportunities.
Here's Benny working off the screen. Benny into the lane. Benny. And that one deflected away. And it'll be Rattler ball with 11 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Here comes Matthews into the game. Ryan Thomas will take a quick breather. Matthews off to Witt. Witt falls down, loses his feet, and timeout is called with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Rattlers, they're going to have to draw up something quick. They're going to have to draw up something clean. It's both teams tied at 52 right now, and Brian, we've seen this, the pace of this game really starting to get aggressive, starting to get physical, maybe even a little bit chippy as Rattlers and the Hillcats trying to vie for this one.
It really has indeed, partner. I feel like I could trace it back to when J.J. Bolton was called for that intentional foul call on that fast break. It really set the tone for the remainder of this game. You saw after the play, J.J. and the Hillcat bench exchanging words, and tempers starting to flare a little bit. This game tied at 52. Every possession counts, every possession matters, and with St. Mary's and Rogers State vying for position in the Heartland Conference, you know these last 10 minutes are going to be a whole lot of drama. There's going to be a whole lot of action, and we're in for a good one.
All right, well, let's go ahead and look at some of the leaders right now. On the Hillcat side of things, it's been Deswan Newton. He's got 21 points. Hartzler, he has 19 as well. On the Rattlers side of things, leading scorer, it's Marvin Benny. He has 12, and then you have 3 Rattlers after him with 8, Alexander, Minor, and Matthews. Back to action, fall away shot for Witt, no good. Offensive rebound there for Matthews, and St. Mary's, another possession brought into life. Here's Benny now, keeping the dribble low, keeping it safe. Matthews now drive the lane against Leia, no good. Again, the ball bouncing around, and finally Leia grabs it, and a foul is going to be called on Bolton. Reaching in a bit too much there, trying to get the jump ball. Here comes Sharp checking into the game. He'll do so for Leia. Also, Newton will step out for a breather, as Ayala will check into the game for him. Or rather, it's Moore stepping out of the game. Newton the ball up top, using a screen from Santos. Here's Moore attacking. He's been doing that all night. And here's Bolton now grabbing the board. It's going to be a foul against Ayala. Instead of what looked like could have been a Rattler fast break in the making, it'll be Bolton heading to the line for the double bonus.
And if you're not going to get an easy lay-in, you might as well get the opportunity to get 2 points on the possession, as Bolton able to sink the first of 2, and he gives St. Mary's the 1 point advantage as we are now past the midway point of the second half.
Bolton has been effective tonight. 7 points.
Oh.
Grabs his own offensive board. Throws it off of Santos, but Sharp manages to track it down. Here's Hartzler now. Thought about the three, hesitated at the line. Newton now up to Ayala. Ayala working against Witt. Here's the matchup now. Newton against Benny. Back over to Ayala. Into Santos, and the foul is called. They're going to get Matthews. That's going to be his fourth. On the foul side of things, some players to look out for. Bolton, he has 3. Matthews has 4. Thomas and Monroe both have 3 as well. On Rogers State's side of thing, Sharp has 3. Banton, he has 3 as well. And it feels like just about everyone else has 2 fouls on their end as well. Moore and Newton are the only players with only 1 foul on this entirety of this Hillcat team. Santos, 1 of 2 from the line as he manages to get the split on the second. Here's the press. Oh, and the home run pass up to Witt. Witt now. Oh, and he's sent back. Witt hit the floor, but they're going to call a clean block from Moore. Here's Newton now. Blocking foul. That one called against Benny. He's none too happy with the call, as Rattler fans bit disgruntled on both ends.
Things getting really chippy between the two teams, as both teams now in the bonus. St. Mary's has been in the double bonus for quite some time, and it looks like Minor will check back into the ball game.
2 shots from the free throw line for Newton. He's a senior out of Seattle, Washington. First one's good. As we'll see Minor checking into the game for Bolton. St. Mary's, they're retaining their size here. Also, we'll see Bryce Smith checking in for Witt.
After Newton hit that first free throw, no ill side effects after Sunday's Super Bowl loss, being a native from Seattle, Washington.
Second one up, that one good as well for Newton, and he's sitting pretty at 23. With 8:54 remaining. We'll see substitution. Banton checking into the game, and Newton will head to the bench. Monroe, ball inbounded to him, but the ranks will fall back now for the Hillcats. Here comes Benny. Benny now over to Minor. Minor up top to Alexander, and Benny able to track that one down even though he lost his footing temporarily. Here's Smith now. Into Minor. Minor, bounce pass into Monroe. Monroe goes up strong, not able to finish, and it'll be Rattler ball as it was last touched by the Hillcats. And it's been a battle down there as both teams have started to bring out the big boys down low.
And on that play, I think Joe was just anticipating contact as he went up, received none whatsoever, and it might have caused him to miss the shot a bit long. St. Mary's now with possession as Alexander finds a way down low, and he lays it in nicely for 2.
Man, great pass there by Benny. He passed it through 3 sets of Hillcat hands, and just an easy finish there by Alexander. Here's Moore now. Over to Hartzler. Hartzler now, he gets a screen from Santos. Up top to Banton now, working against Benny. Back to Hartzler. 14 seconds on the clock. Here's Moore now, working against Smith. Foul is called. Don't know quite who they're going to get, but it looks like they got Monroe. I believe so, yes, that's his 4th, and it'll be a 1-and-1 bonus as we return from the break. Media timeout called here on the floor, and we're now joined by our very own Ruben Dominguez. Ruben, the intensity really starting to pick up in this one as we have a tied ball game with just 7:45 remaining in the second half.
Yeah, that flagrant foul by J.J. Bolton early in the second half really set the tone for the game right here. I think if the Rattlers keep feeding the hot hand of Marvin Binney, who has 12 points this half, I think the Rattlers could see this one out and ultimately take the victory.
And you speak of Marvin Binney. How big of a contribution has he made here in the second half, despite the game being tied at 55?
After not playing the first half, I think Marvin's done a very good job in coming here and really setting the tone for his team. I think it'll be essential for him to keep finding the ball and finding the basket to help his team take this victory.
All right, well, thank you very much to our colleague Ruben Dominguez. Always insightful, always good stuff out of him. We're going to have to start sponsoring the 8-minute mark by Ruben Dominguez. Get him a little segment name or something. We'll think of something.
The 8-minute minute.
The 8-minute minute. Go. That's a good one. Rally fans, if you have an idea, go ahead, tweet it at us at St. Mary's Rattlers. Once again, first one up and good for Moore as he gets on the board for the first time today. Second one up and good as well for Donald Moore. Usually averages around 11 points per game, but only 2 so far here today. I'm sure he wouldn't mind heating up in the last 8 minutes of this one. Benny now bringing it up the floor. 2-point game now. Marvin in attack mode. He's trying to get to that right hand. Lays it up and he'll draw the foul as well. And it'll be Benny to the line for 2. Marvin Benny averaging 11 points per game to go along with 2.7 assists and 3.5 rebounds. He's been very good from the free throw line, shooting 84.8% as he knocks that one down. He's 3 of 3 from the line today. Substitutions as Newton will check back into the game. Looks like Moore will head to the bench and take a seat. Oh no, beg your pardon, it'll be Banton who takes the seat. And Benny makes them both, so both teams exchanging free throws back and forth here. Realizing how precious every single point will be down this stretch. Here's Hartzler, over to Newton. Calls the play, gets the screen from Sharp, now goes away from the screen. Hartzler hoists up a 3, no good. It'll be Santos coming down with the board. And a fresh 35 on the shot clock for Moore. Over to Newton now. 7:01 remaining in the second half. Both of these teams battling it out here. This matchup, everything it was billed to be. Here's Moore now, working off the screen. Newton for 3. Oh, he airballed it. Bit of a surprise right there with how hot the shooting's been for Newton today. As now Benny will bring it on up the floor. Newton, he's shooting 50% from the floor now. Miner now with the ball. Looking up top, he has Alexander. Here's Benny now. Benny, triple threat. And now he'll put it on the floor. Here's Benny, he puts up the 3. Too much space, no good. Rebound taken down by Miner. He'll put it in for 2. Miner, 10 points now as well. He's the third Rattler into double digits. Here's Newton now. Newton, he receives the screen over to Hartzler now. Hartzler being aggressive. He has been all game. And a blocking foul called there against Joe Monroe. And the guys in gold cannot believe it. That'll be Monroe's 5th foul. He'll be out of the game. And both teams will be shooting double bonus the rest of the way.
Tough call there as Monroe is out of the ball game.
Well, the only reason I could think of is if Monroe was out of the restricted area, but Cole seemed pretty definitive right there. Ryan Thomas, he'll check into the game. Monroe, he's finished for the night. Joe Monroe, he played 9 minutes, committed 5 fouls, 3 rebounds. First one up and good for Hartzler. So the game is back at a 1-point margin. Hartzler, 2 for 2, 21 points now for him. Thomas, he'll pass it off to Miner, up to Alexander now. working against this diamond press. And easiest way to, well, one of the ways to beat that one, go ahead, take that one step backwards so you can take 2 steps forward. Benny now. They've fallen back into the zone. Benny thought about the shot. Minor now trying to drive baseline.
Good movement of the zone.
5 seconds. Here's Smith for 3. No good. And Sharp grabs the board.
And that's the type of shot the zone defense causes, preventing interior passes down low and creating rushed three-point opportunities as Justin Alexander turns back that shot.
Here's Benny now in transition. Benny over 2 Hillcat players. Did an excellent job of avoiding the charge, and Benny now sitting with 16 points.
Benny swooping to the hoop as he floats one in.
Here's Moore now. Off to Hartzler. Hartzler over to Sharp. Sharp, I don't know if he has that range, but he certainly did fake like he did. Hartzler now. Behind the back to Sharp. Great pass. This one rattles in and out. It's a scramble for the ball, and it's going to be a jump ball as Benny and Santos ended up tangled up, and it'll be the arrow pointing the Rattler way.
And every loose ball at this juncture of the ball game, ever so critical. Marvin Benny not letting go whatsoever. And now possession goes to the guys in gold.
Here comes Benny. Back to man-to-man defense for the Hillcats. Bryce Smith now working against it. He started today. Benny now. Up top to Minor. Minor back to Smith. Smith looking low, can't find anything. Back to Benny. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Foul is drawn, and it'll be MB to the line for 2. And with 4:11 remaining in the second half, you have to think the team that is more aggressive down the stretch without fouling be the team that's going to be able to pull this one out. Benny front irons it.
And as you mentioned, the team that can attack on a more consistent basis, that stays attacking, will win this game. And as I touched on earlier, not just attacking on the offensive end, but defensively as well, forcing the other team into things that they don't want to do, such as hoisting up bad shots, which the Rattler defense has done a solid job of doing so far this evening.
Witt checks into the game. Minor will take a seat. St. Mary's a bit small on the front line, so foul is committed there. Looks like they're going to get Alexander on that one. That'll be his 3rd team foul. And with that, we're underneath the 4-minute mark. Our final media timeout. We'll go on ahead and take the break as you're watching high drama basketball here on the Rattler Network. And welcome back, Rattler fans. 3:52 remaining, 61-59, the Rattlers in the lead. Brian, St. Mary's, it's been an aggressive game. It's been up and down. Both teams, none can seem to make a run away from the other one. If you had to give one key statistic or one key thing for the Rattlers to do in order to close this one out, what would it be?
Rebound, rebound, rebound. Limiting second chance opportunities for your opponents and creating those opportunities for yourself are what will lead you to the promised land, if you will. St. Mary's known for their rebounding as Benny. No rebound needed for that one as he buries the three from the top. Rattlers lead by 3.
Too much space right there, as hot as Benny's been. On my side of things, I'd have to say turnovers. You got to take care of the ball, and you got to find a way to force 1 or 2 turnovers by yourself. Spinning into the lane is Newton. Here's Moore for 3. No good. Rebound being fought for. Still up in the air, and eventually it's Moore who comes down with it. That shot sent back and off of a Rattler jersey. It'll be Hillcat ball with 33 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
And you saw Marvin Binney fighting for that loose ball. Him and a plethora of yellow and red jerseys just trying to get that pivotal loose ball.
And a walk is called on Sharp. He took 1 step too many. Rattler basketball is, that turnover was just created. The thing I like about this Rattler lineup right now, you have 2 very good rebounders in there, and then you have 3 players who are very good at taking care of the ball. Benny, Witt, and Smith, all capable of playing that point guard spot. St. Mary's, they've been taking care of the ball great today. Only 6 turnovers as a team. Here's Benny, up top to Smith. Smith back over to Benny, 15 seconds on the shot clock. He's looking for Alexander against this zone defense. Thomas now, he'll step out. Here's Smith, over to Benny, 5 seconds on the shot clock. It'll be Benny who has to make a play. Benny into Alexander, he flips it up, no good, but the rebound taken down by Thomas, no good again. It's Witt who comes away with it, and a fresh 35 on the shot clock for the Rattlers, along with a 3-point lead.
And that's as good of an offensive sequence you can ask for St. Mary's, as they get another opportunity here. Rattlers with 14 second chance points looking to add to that statistic.
Here's Witt up top. He gets a screen from Alexander into the corner. Bryce Smith, he thought about the shot. Oh, that one deflected away by Sharp. Good active hands. Santos running the floor. It's stripped away by Benny off of Santos. A hustle play by Marvin just saved the Rattlers a couple of points.
Marvin Binney has been all over the place here, and that play is as good of a visual you could imagine for the type of half Marvin Binney has had, deflecting the ball off of the leg of Santos. St. Mary's clinging to a 3-point lead.
And those hustle plays, those hustle stats, it's really at this point in the game where you start to see them all come together. You don't think that a hustle play that you're going to make 2 minutes into a game is going to have that much of an impact? Well, this kind of game where it's this close just goes to show that indeed it does have that kind of impact. 1:57 remaining, both sides trying to draw up what they want to do. I'll be curious to see if the Hillcats come out in that zone defense that they've been in, or if they'll go back to the man-to-man. Minor, he checked in, a scoring threat for the Rattlers. Bryce Smith, he'll head to the bench. It looks like man for right now, but they could disguise the zone. No, it's definitely man-to-man defense. Benny puts it up top to Alexander. Insertion pass to Matthews. Offensive foul called there, as Matthews was anticipated by Newton.
And that is Matthews' 5th personal foul.
Yep,
he has fouled out.
Yep, and so Matthews, he'll have to head to the bench. Coach Selzniak, he'll have 30 seconds to replace him. I guess that Thomas, yep, he'll just go ahead, check right back into the game. Matthews, his final numbers on the night. Isaiah, he finishes with 5 rebounds along with 8 points. Played 17 minutes tonight.
And the look Coach Z was giving the official, that's a look that you do not want to get.
Here's Newton. Over to Hartzler now. Hartzler working against Witt. Hartzler gets a screen from Santos. Up top now to Moore. Here's Newton against Benny. This has been the matchup. We'll defer off now. Here's Moore. Moore, the double screen. Good job by Alexander to force him wide. Here's Newton now into the lane. It's stripped away. Santos now, and a foul is called.
And it looks like Alexander took a shot to the face.
Yeah.
It looked like an inadvertent elbow as Alexander shaken up on the play.
And they're going to get Thomas there on the foul. Santos will head to the line for 2, and for Thomas, that's his 4th foul. St. Mary's, they could be in a tough spot right here. Santos puts in the first one to cut the margin within 2. Santos 7 points today.
And this ball game being played at St. Mary's pace, they're a bit under their points per game average. They average 70.9 points per game, and they normally hold their opponents to around 64 points, so this is pretty much where St. Mary's games normally are at.
As we see a substitution, Buckley, a guard, checking in for a power forward in Sharp. Could be a mismatch now, although Buckley does look like he has some good height on him for a guard. Here's Minor with the ball. Looking down low, can't find anything. Swung back over to Minor. Alexander now. Santos trying to bump him off the spot. Triple teamed is Alexander. He flips it up anyway and in for 2. 3-point game in favor of the Rattlers. 40 seconds on the clock.
Alexander with 12 points, and none bigger than that lay-in right there as he was able to create a shot in the lane, and he gives the Rattlers the 3-point lead.
Rattler fans, we invite you out to the game on Saturday. It'll be the University of Arkansas Fort Smith taking on your St. Mary's Rattlers. The women, they get under action at 1 o'clock, and then the men will follow at roughly a 3 o'clock tip-off as well. Come out to the action. Support your St. Mary's Rattlers. Crucial conference games are being played, and if the games on Saturday are anything like the games being played today, they're going to be ones that you're not going to want to miss if unfortunately you're not able to make it out. Be sure to check us out, rattlerathletics.com. 38.6 remaining.
And if you're St. Mary's, one stop can more than likely win you the game.
As long as you make your free throws.
One stop, one bucket is what my motto would be if I'm the guys in gold.
Here's Newton driving aggressively, no good. Rebound taken down by Minor. It's Benny. The shot clock's turned out. Hillcats have to foul, and it's going to be Marvin Witt heading to the line with a chance to make this one a 2-possession game.
And that's the one stop. Now Rattlers need one bucket, and if they can, 2 right here from Marvin Witt at the line.
Marvin Witt, 77.4% from the line. He's good on the first.
Big-time players make big-time plays. Minor able to snag the board, and Witt able to make the first of a possible 2, which he sinks both.
5 points the advantage now. As looks like a shoe came off. I'll go on ahead and stop play. A little bit of a chance to just build the anticipation some more here for Moore. Get the shoe on. Attaboy. 22.3 remaining here. I gotta tell you, it's hard to put on the shoes sometimes when you got those big braces on your ankles. Anyway, St. Mary's, they lead by 5. If you're the Hillcats, you might have
and
to be
a round of applause from the Rattler faithful.
You might have to be in force-up three-pointer mode right now if you're the Hillcats. Here's Moore bringing it down the floor. There's a deep three-pointer. Oh, and the foul is called. They got Witt right there on a three-pointer launched from what seemed like NBA range. Oh, and that's a foul you can't commit if you're St. Mary's. It'll send Hartzler to the line for 3.
And everybody here is stunned. He hits the first, and imagine if he had made that. It was right on line, just a bit strong.
Hartzler, the second one, good as well. He's at 23 points right now. Here comes Bryce Smith checking into the game for Justin Alexander. St. Mary's perhaps looking for some good free throw shooters on the floor right now. They're going to need a strong box out right here, though. Have to make sure they get this rebound should it become available. Hartzler, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Timeout called by the Hillcats.
And that is the cardinal sin. You do not want to foul a jump shooter, especially one shooting from the three-point line. And it allows the clock to stop and the Hillcats to get back to within 2.
It looks like Cameron Pierce will be checking into the game. I'm sure St. Mary's, the play right here is just to get it into a good free throw shooter. They have plenty of them on their team, but more importantly, you have to make sure that you get it across that half-court line if the Hillcats elect to run a full-court press. The Hillcats, they don't have to foul right away. They can try to commit a turnover. And they've inserted Leia into the game. He's a long player who will be contesting Bryce Smith on this inbounds pass. 16.4 remaining. The lead only 2 for the Rattlers. Smith can walk along the baseline as a point was just made. St. Mary's, they have to call a timeout, and they will do so.
And good job by Smith, not trying to force anything, calling a timeout, and the Hillcats putting Leia on the inbounder. Smith making it difficult, obstructing his vision, and I have nightmares thinking of having to inbound the ball with a full court press and having the big man, the center, guard me all along the baseline while I'm trying to inbound the ball. And Smith with the poise and the calmness to just call a timeout, allow for the team to regroup and run their play.
On the floor for the Rattlers, Smith, he'll be the trigger man. Benny, Minor, Witt, and Pierce, all capable free throw shooters. 68.6 remaining. Smith, he'll inbound it to Witt, and the foul is committed. Marvin, he just made 2 free throws. If he wants to make this a 2-possession game, he'll have to make 2 more. Santos, he'll check back into the game. Alexander as well, looks like Sharp. But first, this free throw from Witt.
Both teams subbing defense and offense now, as the Rattlers will have no one around the key for the rebound.
It is really quiet in here right now. As Witt knocks down the first. Alexander, he'll check into the game, as Pierce will head over to the bench. Santos and Sharp, they'll check in as well. 15.1 seconds remaining. Even if Witt makes this one, it does not have to be a 3-pointer from the Hillcats. Witt, 2 of 2. Cool, calm, collected was Witt. Now St. Mary's adding a little bit of pressure there on the inbounds pass at least. Here's Moore over to Hartzler for 3. He airballs it. Rebound taken down by Benny, and Marvin now will head to the line with a chance to make this one a 6-point game. 6.3 seconds remaining.
Marvin Benny with his 3rd rebound of the night. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals from Marvin Benny. And he has played the entire second half as he sinks the second, and it should be academic now as the Rattlers up by 5 with 6.3 seconds left.
Second good as well for Benny. It's a 6-point game. Moore, he has to pick it up unless something spectacular happens. Moore, that one no good, and the clock will run out. The final bucket will count for Hartzler, and with that, our final. Your St. Mary's Rattlers weather the storm with 72. The Hillcats, they fall with 68. and a huge conference game for the Rattlers as they move to 9-4 in conference play and 12-8 overall. Meanwhile, the Hillcats, they fall to 8-5 in conference play and 14-7 overall. Brian, a resilient effort out of the Rattlers, kind of a grit your teeth kind of game, and one where they really showed what they were made of here tonight.
Rattlers doing all the necessary things, making all the necessary plays to pull off this 4-point victory. Their defense is what made the difference here, creating turnovers and key rebounds down the stretch. Marvin Binney, 21 points in 20 minutes of action, along with 3 rebounds and 2 assists and 2 steals. Marvin Witt with a nice game as well, 10 points to go along with 6 rebounds. All around great team effort from the St. Mary's Rattlers as they improve their record and they move up in the Heartland Conference standings.
Well, Rattler fans, that's going to go ahead. That's going to do it for us today. Rattler fans, please come out to the game on Saturday. We look forward to seeing you along with the chili cook-off. That'll be Tuesday at 1 o'clock. All right, for Brian Magluyu and for all of the Rattler Network, I'm Joe Rodriguez. Take care, everyone.